What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. So look, y'all, a lot of y'all who have been subscribed to my channel for a little minute, y'all have seen my excitement for the movie Sinners rise and rise and rise. I'm talking about Ryan Coogler's new film starring Michael B. Jordan. And you know, a part of it that really got me intrigued was that it was the film is set in the Prohibition era. But it's set in the Mississippi Delta, right? It takes place in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Now, the movie was shot in Louisiana, but it takes place in Clarksdale, Mississippi. It was set in Clarksdale, Mississippi, right? And y'all know I went to college in the Mississippi Delta. I'm born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, South Side to be specific. But my collegiate years, especially for my undergraduate years, was spent in the Mississippi Delta at Mississippi Valley State University, right? And some of you all are already privy to this information. For the newcomers, you'll learn now. My paternal lineage comes through Mississippi, right? And I want to talk about like Chicagoans in particular. Our connection to Mississippi is strong. Seriously. Most black folks you find in Chicago, they got a grandparent or two from Mississippi. If it's not Mississippi, it's from like Arkansas or something like that. But for the most part, at least one of our grandparents, they're from Mississippi, right? My grandmother is from Cleveland, Mississippi. My grandfather, her husband, was from Yazoo City, Mississippi. They ended up in their adult years. They moved to a town called Waynesboro, Mississippi. And then in 1960, they migrated to Chicago, Illinois. Migrated here for better opportunities for work. My grandfather was a carpenter. So, he could make a lot more money here in Chicago than he could in Mississippi. You know what I mean? They could find a better life for my father and his siblings. My father was 5 years old when he left Mississippi and came to Chicago, right? And so when this is a story for a lot of people, the Great Migration got a lot of our people to the city that we are currently in, Chicago, Illinois. And when I talk about it, like when people hear most Chicagoans talk, a lot of times they say we have a southern accent or we sound country when we talk. The reason why is because our dialect was passed down from our grandparents, right? Our grandparents being from Mississippi, we learned how to talk from them. Our grandparents taught our parents how to talk, so on and so forth. So we ended up picking up the way they spoke, the cadence, and so on and so forth. Certain words they use, we still were using. Now, we might have a little Chicago twist to it, twang to it, but you can still hear the remnants of the South in the way we talk at times, right? So much so that I remember when Crucial Conflict, people thought Crucial Conflict, Crucial Conflict from the west side of Chicago. When they came out, people thought they were from the South. People thought they was from Mississippi, Georgia somewhere, Arkansas, Louisiana. People thought they were from the South, but they were from Chicago, Illinois. And the reason why, because they're like, they sound Southern. They got a Southern twang because of our grandparents, right? And when I talk about the connection to Mississippi, it feels, it's more than just like, we are people from there. Like when I went to college at 18 years old, when I went down to Mississippi Valley State University, it was, I'm not lying when I say this. It was so eerie, it felt like a piece of, like serenity came over me. As soon as I entered into the Mississippi Delta, I couldn't explain it. I felt at peace in a place I hadn't been to the Mississippi Delta since I was like 5 years old. All of my father's family, they moved from Mississippi, or the ones that were still there, they passed away, right? I hadn't been there all my summers or nothing. I had been there like twice before as a little boy, itty bitty boy for real. And I really didn't have deep connection to it, like personally, like in my everyday, my experience was not heavy in Mississippi. That's what I'm trying to say. My firsthand experience was not heavy in Mississippi, right? When I came down there, a feeling of peace came over my body. Now, this is me at 18 years old. I'm 10 hours away from the Chi. You feel me? 10 hours away from Chicago. I'm trying to figure out, dang, man, like y'all who don't know, I had a baby at 18 years old. My daughter was back home in Chicago, right? Eventually I was trying to get it to where her mother and her can come down there with me, right? Eventually that didn't happen. We split, and so on and so forth, whatever. But anyway, I'm away from my child. I'm away from my family. I'd never been that far. And I was worried about all these different things, right? And am I going to make friends? How am I going to adjust to a new scenario? Am I going to be homesick? All of those things. And how am I going to deal with the rigors of college and all of that? I was on an academic scholarship, a full-ride academic scholarship. I got to keep up my grades. I'm worrying about all of that on the way down there. The moment I entered into the Mississippi Delta, I just felt at peace. I felt like I had been there before. It felt like familiar. And I had never been in Itta Bena in my life. I had never been in Greenwood from what I can recall. We probably drove through there and stuff. I don't remember it, But it was eerie, I got down there like, dang. Then when I got down there, they welcomed me like I was a native son. I met some of my best friends in life there. My brother Derek Jones, who y'all saw on my channel on my live stream, my boy that got a PhD in mathematics, right? My boy who's the godfather to my son, I met him there. I met my boy Melvin from Chicago like me, but I met him in Mississippi. You know what I mean? My boy Derek is from Midnight, Mississippi in the Mississippi Delta. My boy Dorian from Isola, Mississippi in the Mississippi Delta. I met all these different people. Courtney Haymore, my boy Courtney from Itta Bena, Mississippi Delta. I met all these different people who would have a profound effect on my life, And when I got down there, it just felt so familiar. And they embraced me like I was family. I felt at home. And it was almost kind of like spiritually, man. I had the best time of my life. To this day, when I go down there, I get giddy like a kid when they see their mother. When little kids see their mama coming home from the store, or their mama coming to pick them up from the babysitter, or they see their mama picking them up from school or whatever. They get to smiling and dancing and cheering and looking and smiling and running to their mama. When I got down there, every time I go down there, my heart started man, I'm back to where I used to be at. When we took my sister down there for school, my little sister, we took my baby sister who's 7 years younger than me. We took her down there for school. Man, y'all, I was so elated. I was smiling ear to ear because I felt that connection to Mississippi. I seen Carlos Miller make a joke and say, Chicago, Chicago dudes, Chicago people ain't nothing but Mississippi folks with coats. Chicago people ain't nothing but Mississippi folks with coats. And I'm like, that's the truth, A lot of people be from down there. The food that they cook down south, we cook up here for the most part, right? Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I was like, when I saw that the movie Sinners was set in Mississippi, I thought about them connections from Chicago people to Mississippi people. We are super connected, man. A lot of our people are from down there in Mississippi, and they migrated. The Great Migration had black folks. That Amtrak train. Because my people came on an Amtrak train. My grandfather came first. He sent for my grandmother and his 4 children to come up here after he secured a job, right? Then they eventually set up shop on the south side of Chicago. They went to the west side first for two years. And then 2 or 3 years, and they moved to the south side. My grandma was in the same house until she passed away in 2020 that my grandfather had built for them on the south side, So, yeah, man, my grandparents, I never even met my grandfather. He passed away before I was even born. But my grandmother, she was so proud. She coming down there to the Mississippi Delta, seeing me down there. It felt like life had come full circle for her. My cousin also graduated from Alcorn State. He wasn't in the Mississippi Delta because Lorman is not the Delta. It's not, but not from what I know, no. But he was in Mississippi. She came and saw him graduate down there. Life was coming full circle. She saw her grandchildren go back down south for college and get educated and then come back home, So, yeah, man, it's a spiritual connection between Mississippi folks and Mississippi black folks and Chicago black folks. You know, when I got down there with them, I got along with them very well. My boy K Tony is. I'm shout out my boy K. My boy K, man, he was taking, man, I didn't have no vehicle down there. You know, I connected with them brothers and brothers. I was paying them a little gas money though. You know what I'm saying? They didn't ask for it, but I did it just because it's the right thing to do. Taking me wherever I wanted to go. You know, come and kick it with me all the time. Taking me to the train when it's time for me to ride that Amtrak train 13 hours back to the shop during the winter break and the summer break and spring break and all of that. Taking me to McDonald's and Taco Bell when I'm hungry and all of that. And we kicking it, having a good time, all that, man. Mississippi people and Chicago people connected.